Good evening, everyone. Welcome back here to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's live stream, we'll be going over a multi-day severe weather event that will be moving across portions of the Southern Plains into the Dixie Alley region, across the Deep South, and into the Southeast going into Saturday. So we're going to be talking about that, going over areas that are affected by the severe weather, talking about the hazards in which the storms could be producing, which could be damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes. We'll go over the areas affected there, and we'll be going over the timing of the storms, when to expect them here throughout the Thursday, Friday, Saturday time frame in today's live stream. So thank you guys so much for joining. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday evening out there so far, and we're into the middle of the week, so we're getting active weather across the United States. So again, if you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns throughout the year of 2024 on this channel, I do daily videos here on Weather on the Go. We go over the detailed forecast every single morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, so you guys get videos there. If you are here on the live stream, make sure to press that like button down below, that thumbs up. It gives me more people on this live stream to get more of this information to. So thanks for joining here, and I'll get to anybody's comments, questions here as well throughout the live stream. I'll be pausing and looking over at the comment section there, the chat. So let's look here at our Thursday risk. We do have a marginal to slight risk of severe weather. You see the dark green shaded color here surrounding portions of the Great Plains. So if you do live in this corridor here in the dark green across portions of central, even southern Texas here, all the way up through western Arkansas, getting into southwestern Missouri, up into Kansas, particularly southeastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, that is a level 1 out of 5 for the risk scale of severe weather. So we're keeping an eye on that. That is for tomorrow on your Thursday. Now, you see an area here of yellow, a little bit higher of a risk of severe weather. This covers portions of western Oklahoma, far southern Kansas up here, just west of the Oklahoma City area. This does include north and central Texas. So this does include the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and again, west of Oklahoma City, so Woodward, Oklahoma, El Reno, getting in toward Lawton there, Wichita Falls, Abilene, all the way down toward the San Angelo region, and also the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex as we go into Thursday. That is a level 2 out of 5 on the risk scale, so a little bit higher of a risk of severe weather in the yellow relative to the darker green. So let's dive in here and talk about the risk of which these storms could produce as we go into your Thursday time frame. And you can see, let's look first at the tornado risk. It is a small area, but it was still an area nonetheless. In the dark green, this is a 2% shading of a tornado within a given point of 25 miles. So this could be even outside of this area a little bit. You could still see a tornado within a given point of 25 miles. So looking at this area here, if you are in this dark green shaded color, this is a 2% area of tornadoes tomorrow on your Thursday. This does cover western portions there of Oklahoma, far eastern Texas Panhandle, getting into northwest Texas. This is west of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then getting into west central Texas here. So definitely watching out there for that 2% shading of tornadoes as we go into your Thursday time frame. So let's dive into some of the cities that are in this tornado area here that could have a chance for a tornado. We have Woodward, Oklahoma up here, Elk City getting down to the Altus region and near the Lawton, Fort Sill region into southwestern Oklahoma, getting down there towards Highway 82, getting in toward Wichita Falls, getting down toward I-20, toward the Abilene region, down towards portions there closer to I-10 into west central Texas, the Brownwood area, getting into San Angelo. We are keeping an eye on that threat for tornadoes tomorrow on Thursday. And even outside of this area, just a little bit as well, kind of giving you an idea here, like the Lubbock area, you may be a little too far to the west, but just a little bit further outside of this area, we could still see tornadoes. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go into your Thursday time frame. Let's look at our wind probabilities as well. Pretty low risk of some wind, but that kind of goes along with our marginal risk area here in the brown shaded color. That is essentially a 5% shading of winds that could be 58 miles per hour or stronger. This does include southeastern portions of Kansas, far southwestern Missouri, including the Joplin region, getting into far western portions of Arkansas, the Fort Smith area, for example, much of Oklahoma here, except for the Oklahoma Panhandle, the far eastern Texas Panhandle, getting into north and central Texas, and even western Texas. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go into your Thursday time frame here. There is a chance that we could see some damaging winds with this. And then the hail risk. The hail risk as we go into Thursday is a little bit more elevated. So we have an elevated tornado risk a little bit with the 2%. We have a 15% risk of hail that could be quarter size, that 1 inch in diameter hail or larger. That does cover portions there of southern Kansas, western Oklahoma, and getting in towards the north central Texas region. Again, encompassing Woodward, Oklahoma, Lawton, Fort Sill there, the Elk City region, down to Wichita Falls here, getting into Dallas, Fort Worth, getting all the way down through the Abilene region towards San Angelo and San Antonio and Austin. Those areas, we do have a threat for some quarter size hail or larger with these storms as we go into your Thursday time frame. Now, since we've gone over the Thursday time frame, let's go to the next day on Friday, and we have another more vigorous area of severe weather potential on Friday. This is on the 8th of March, and you can see this is across portions of East Texas, mainly along and east of I-35. So zooming it in here, some areas impacted here in East Texas on Friday would be the Dallas-Fort Worth area on the western side of the risk, more in that marginal risk there, and then getting in towards Tyler, Texas area, Texarkana, getting down here to the northern side of Houston, into the Houston region. We have a marginal risk of severe weather there on Friday, so a little bit less of a risk for you, but still a chance of severe weather. Shreveport, Baton Rouge over here into Louisiana and towards the Lake Charles region and New Orleans, Monroe. A lot of these areas here along I-49 and I-10 seeing some severe weather potential as we go through Louisiana. Up there into Arkansas, very close to the Little Rock region, we do have a severe weather potential, a 2 out of 5 just south and west of the city of Little Rock in toward the Pine Bluff region, Fort Smith there, kind of zooming it in a little bit further here. You can see some of those other cities popping up, Hot Springs to Hope, down to Camden and El Dorado, some of those areas there into southern Arkansas in that 15% risk for severe weather. Southeastern Oklahoma here, we're talking about the Ardmore region into that marginal risk, Ada into that marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 5. Then you get further east into Stigler and also the McAllister region there into eastern and southeastern Oklahoma. You get into that 15% risk of severe weather as we go in towards into that Friday time frame, shifting east into southern Mississippi, Jackson, into Meridian, into Gulfport, into the Laurel region. We're starting to see some severe weather. Hattiesburg, Macomb, Natchez, Vicksburg. A lot of these areas seeing the potential for severe weather on Friday in that slight risk area. And then finally getting over into southern Alabama and northwest Florida, Mobile to Pensacola and Dothan, Panama City, all these areas in either that 1 out of 5 in the dark green or that 2 out of 5 here. If you're further north into, say, Tupelo, Mississippi, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, you guys are up here toward the Florence region, Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, Jonesboro, kind of jumping around here. You can see that is a 1 out of 5 on the scale with the dark green. That is an isolated severe weather potential going into Friday. So a large area on Friday to cover here for severe weather. Parts of this area could get upgraded as we go into that Friday time frame. So we'll be definitely keeping a close eye on that one during that time frame here. And we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that. So far, for Saturday, the 9th of March, we so far do not have a severe weather risk at the moment from the latest Storm Prediction Center update, but I do think there is some chance that we could have a severe weather risk kind of included in this area here. And actually, I'll highlight this in a better color here so you guys can see it. An area such as, I'll put it in yellow here, so an area kind of like this, from the Carolinas down through Georgia into northern Florida, kind of in this area here. We'll be keeping an eye on Saturday for the potential of severe weather in this area, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Right now, the Storm Prediction Center does not have a highlight, but I do suspect this would be the area in play for severe weather potential on Saturday, entering into the weekend, if we do have that threat there, so we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you guys so much again for joining here. Again, for any of our new people joining the live stream, make sure to hit the like button down below. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel as we put daily weather forecast videos out, very detailed, very accurate on this channel. I will be coming out with my new video here tomorrow covering the spring and summer forecast updates with the temperatures, precipitation, severe weather season forecast, the preview to the hurricane season. Lots of great videos coming up over the next several days, something you definitely don't want to miss. So let's see here. Let me read the chat real quick because I haven't done so the past couple of minutes here. So let's read the chat. Let's see who's in here. Again, thank you all for joining here this Wednesday evening. I know it's kind of getting late and you guys have to go to work here pretty soon, but I appreciate everybody joining. Hey, Blondie, thanks for joining. And David and Brooklyn, thank you for joining as well. Gilbert and Molly, and let's see who else is in here. You see Justin and Misty is in here. Linda Loper, I appreciate you joining. Tornado Storm, thank you as well. Yeah, Thursday and Friday are the level 2 days right now for severe weather, and that could extend east like I showed you just moments ago for Saturday. Right now, the Storm Prediction Center does not have it. So now let's look at the storm potential and also the timing of the storms using the HRRR model. We'll go back to the 0Z, or actually the 18Z rather for the HRRR model. The 0Z model is just loading in right now and is not fully loaded. So let's go back to the 18Z here, and let's kind of walk through the timing and what you can expect. So this is going through the rest of this evening. This is midnight time frame, and notice the deep south very quiet here. Not many clouds around either. You notice that across Dixie Alley. Nice clear skies here overnight tonight across some of those areas with high pressure in firm control. Then as we go across West Texas, we're going to watch initiation here right along portions of the I-20 corridor, Midland up to Big Spring and maybe up toward the Abilene region. Now these are likely not going to be severe overnight, but a couple of these storms could be producing some gustier winds here and some smaller hail. Would not be surprised to see that here across West Central Texas overnight tonight. This is around the midnight time frame here, and hopefully you guys can see that timestamp at the top of your screen. And then as we go in toward after midnight time frame here, let's go to about 3 a.m. Notice we start to see more vigorous thunderstorms developing basically along and north of I-20. So Abilene up toward Lubbock here, north of Big Spring. We're seeing some showers, some thunderstorm activity here, isolated coverage from McKinney up there toward the Denton region into Texas, to Wichita Falls, maybe up into the Red River vicinity there from Oklahoma into Texas. We'll be keeping an eye on that as we go into 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, these storms will likely not be too severe. It's an unfavorable time of day for severe weather. 3 o'clock in the morning, there's not a lot of instability around here this time of year, especially it being the first half of March still, and we still have a little bit of wind shear to look at for some of these storms. Like if I zoom in here to the Abilene region, notice a little bit vigorous cell trying to develop, and this isn't going to happen exactly like this model shows, but just giving you an idea, this storm could be producing a little bit of a hail core in here, whether that's in Abilene or Sweetwater or Snyder or around this area. We'll keep an eye on it, but definitely seeing a potential for some smaller hail with these storms after midnight. And then as we go in toward the 6 o'clock in the morning time frame, look at the storms start to develop very robustly just west of Dallas-Fort Worth. This is when we start to see more of a heavy rainfall threat with small hail, frequent lightning. We start to see more of the potential for some gusty winds coming into play. But I don't think the tornado risk is all that high right now for the morning hours if you move out toward western Texas here. Still seeing some heavy rainfall. So if you do live west of Dallas-Fort Worth, this will be an area to keep an eye on for some heavy rain getting up for your Thursday morning commute. Then the storms are going to kind of be moving over the same areas. So if you are in the Vernon region or Wichita Falls up there toward Oklahoma City, Ardmore into Oklahoma, back toward Abilene, this is going to be kind of the area. I'll kind of zoom out a little bit. The area we're going to keep an eye on for potentially training thunderstorms. They're going to be moving over the same areas over and over again here, and there could be some flooding potential we'll have to keep an eye on. It has been very dry in Texas. There have been a lot of wildfires down in Texas recently, so we'll definitely keep an eye on this, but there's definitely a lot of these storms will be moving from southwest to northeast in that corridor for your Thursday morning commute. Let's go a little bit farther through your Thursday here. You can see a lot of those storms moving further off to the north and east, but eventually by midday, so late morning, early afternoon, between about 10 a.m. and about 1 p.m. time frame, okay? So late morning into the early afternoon hours, around lunchtime, we'll say. We're going to start to see those storms moving over the same area still, but they're going to start to move further east. So we're going to watch a line of storms begin to develop west of Dallas-Fort Worth. This could develop a little bit of a gust front here with some of these storms as instability starts to rise here. And let's actually look at that on this model real quick at the instability values. As we get to this time frame, let's look at the most unstable Cape. Notice it's not very high. The values here are on the Dallas area, still around 300 joules per kilogram. You get down towards San Angelo here, it's around 500 to 450 joules per kilogram. So not very strong instability to support severe weather here during the midday hours across these regions. So really, we're not seeing a lot of support for that yet, but still watching out for some gusty winds with these storms. And then as we go in towards the afternoon hours, we're going to start to see a line of storms develop more robustly moving through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, there's not a lot of instability here, but there's a lot of wind shear. So we could start to see more of these storms taking on a linear mode. And that's why the tornado risk is highest across this region, as I showed you earlier, from Elk City down to Altus, Lawton, Fort Sill, west of Wichita Falls, down toward Abilene. This is where the tornado risk is highest, because when those storms first develop, they will be more scattered, widely scattered here in coverage, those semi-discrete supercells, and those would be the ones to produce the tornado risk before they shift east through the day. And you can see they become more linear here, producing more of a damaging wind and hail risk as they move across southeastern Oklahoma and into north central Texas here. So this is around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you have lunch, if you're working from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, up toward McKinney here into the Plano region, down there toward I-20 here, and getting in toward the Brownwood, Waco area, Killeen, we're definitely seeing the potential for a big line of storms to come through around midday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you're definitely going to be interrupted by some storms there tomorrow. This is on your Thursday, remember that. And then as we go in towards the evening hours, notice those thunderstorms just continue to move over the same areas here. This was at 1 o'clock here earlier on. We saw a line of storms about like this, and this is 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's still a big area of convection or thunderstorm activity there across northern Texas, and this is definitely something to keep an eye on, as we do have still some instability. We definitely have a lot of heavy rainfall. I think at this point, the severe weather threat across the Dallas-Fort Worth area should be quieting down, but kind of shifting more towards East Texas as we get toward the late afternoon and early evening hours. Could have some severe weather up in this corridor into western portions of Arkansas as well. We'll keep an eye on that. And then going further into the evening hours on Thursday, you can see we start to see those thunderstorms quiet down. This is 11 o'clock at night, all clear from the showers and storms across North Texas there. Still some lingering showers and storms up here into southeastern Oklahoma, into western Arkansas, far northeast Texas. These will be more hail producers, I think, overnight. We're really not looking at a tornado risk with these. Again, another unfavorable time of day for any severe weather. And you can see the instability will be going down as well. We'll look at the instability here at 11 o'clock. Let's go over to that and show you. And you can see this is the most unstable Cape, and notice the values are not very strong here across that region where those storms are in play. But notice to the west here, notice an interesting thing. The instability will actually be increasing overnight across western Texas and western Oklahoma here. This is 11 o'clock tomorrow evening, so this is very interesting. Let's move the clock a little bit further and toward after midnight. Notice the instability starts to increase across portions of Texas and the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Look at that. We see some yellows starting to show up. This is 4 o'clock in the morning, folks, on your Thursday, and we're seeing around 1,700 to maybe 2,000 joules per kilogram of instability across this region, really centered across the Wichita Falls area. So let's translate this back to the composite reflectivity, and you can see boom, we got some storms. So we get a break. So we get those storms to move through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, okay? North Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas there, and northwestern Louisiana. The first round, that goes through the afternoon hours and into the early evening. We get a break mid to late evening tomorrow, and then more initiation further to the west, and these storms will likely be the ones to be severe. This is well after midnight. This is really early in the morning here on your Friday morning, and we're already breaking out, seeing some severe weather. These likely producing a lot of these hailstorms across these regions, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then as we go in through Friday morning a little bit further here, you notice that we start to see more upscale growth, another line of storms coming through Dallas-Fort Worth right for rush hour there during your Friday morning commute. So definitely something to keep an eye on. These could be some very large hail producers, some damaging wind producers, and even a tornado cannot be ruled out here, especially with some of these storms ahead of the main line. If we can get a supercell in the morning to develop out ahead of this main line, the main line's back here, a couple of these supercells developing in these areas ahead of the main line, then we could start to see more of those tornado potentials be more realized on Friday morning. So a lot of active weather, folks, coming over the next several days. And if you guys can imagine, this area is going to just expand. So we got the lines of storms here. These will move east eventually into Dixie Alley as we go through later on in the day on Friday. And let's look at the instability during that time frame here on your Friday morning. This is 6 a.m. Still seeing around 1,000 joules per kilogram of instability here in that corridor. And then look at as we go deeper into your Friday morning, notice we start to see that instability kind of increase more for Houston, more for Tyler, Texas, more for the Lake Charles region there, and Shreveport and Jackson. We start to see more of that instability increasing, and we carry this back over again to the composite reflectivity in a very messy storm mode here as we go into Friday. Now, my opinion, I don't think they're going to upgrade this area here to a slight risk. Let me just go actually back to showing you guys the overall risk area there for Friday real quick. So let me go back to that. This is day 3. So there's the risk area here. Let me take this off so you guys can see it here real quick. Let me take this off somehow. All right, so look at the risk area there as we go into Friday. See the slight risk there in, that's a level 2 out of 5. So you got a level 1 out of 5 here in the dark green. That's a marginal risk. You got a level 2 out of 5 here in the yellow. That is a slight risk. If any of you are wondering about an upgrade to severe weather as we go into Friday, it's possible, but right now what I was just looking at was a messy storm mode, so I really don't think we're going to see any bigger upgrades to this quite yet. It looks like the slight risk is continued to be warranted for this region. If there was an upgrade, I think I would probably favor areas kind of in this corridor here for an upgrade to an enhanced risk if that was warranted. That would be for East Texas, southern, very far southern portions of Arkansas, northern and central Louisiana, and in toward the Jackson, Mississippi region. We'll keep an eye on that as we go into your Friday time frame. Another note here, and I know the Storm Prediction Center did actually share with us this actually in their discussion earlier on today when they put their day 3 risk out, is that there is some uncertainty on the northern edge of the thermodynamics. As what they mean, how far north do the dew points get? Do they make it to Memphis? Do they make it to the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa region? Those mid-60 dew points, the rich dew points that support some more significant severe weather. If the warm front moves further north and the warmer, more unstable air moves further north, then we could see this slight risk shifting a little bit further north and east as we go in towards more of central or northern Mississippi, or more of central Alabama, or even portions of the Little Rock and Memphis region, seeing more of that slight risk if we can see that warmer air pushing further north as we go into the Friday time frame. So that will be something to keep an eye on as we do get closer towards that Friday morning time frame. So keeping an eye on that. Again, we're doing a severe weather forecast live here. If you do like this live stream so far and a lot of the details, make sure to press the like button. It's the thumbs up button down below. It helps to drive more people to this live stream so more people are aware of the severe weather upcoming. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. I am looking at the chat here momentarily. Let's see here. Yes, Arkansas is getting some rain right now, but not seeing any severe weather currently for Arkansas. Very, very stable conditions. There are some garden variety thunderstorms there in Arkansas, but no severe weather. Thank you, Meme. My day's going pretty good. How about you? Yes, I'm going to be updating you guys on the El Nino and the La Nina conditions in my video tomorrow. I'm going to be putting a longevity video out talking about the upcoming spring and summer, so you guys can get updated on that. That video will likely be out tomorrow. Michael Banks, can you please look at Johnson City, Tennessee? Right now for Friday, Johnson City, Tennessee is not in a severe risk here. Now Johnson City is way over here in eastern. You're actually not even in a thunderstorm risk at all for Friday. So here's Johnson City way over east-northeast of Knoxville, and you do not have any chance of a thunderstorm right now for Friday here. That could happen. You could have maybe a garden variety storm if this does expand a little further north and east for you, but the severe weather will likely remain further to the south because you're not going to be, those dew points are going to be too dry for you. You're going to see those 40, low 50 degree dew points. That's not going to support any severe weather that far north and east on Friday. Hey Courtney, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Anything in New York? No. New York's going to see a lot of rain over the next 12 hours or so. We're going to see a lot of rain. Let's actually look at that here since we're talking about New York right now. And we had a question about that. So let's go and look at our total precipitation there. And a lot of rain coming here for New York City and here into portions of Connecticut. Some of these areas up here, like New York City, we could be seeing over an inch, almost 2 inches of rain. So 1 to 2 inches of rain for New York City, around 2 to 3 inches for Hartford there in Connecticut, Rhode Island seeing around 2 inches, Boston around 2 inches, 2 1/4. So a lot of rainfall there, some flooding potential along the I-95 corridor as we go in towards the next 12 hours. So I just answered that question since we got a question from talking about New York. Saturday, I know you probably didn't join till just now, but Saturday, let me take this off real quick here. Michael asked, what about Saturday? Right now, here, let me go to the NAM 12KM here. This is probably the best bet for right now. So let's go to Saturday, since we had a question about that. Let me go back to the 18Z here. The 0Z is not totally loaded in quite yet. And here we go. So we're going into Saturday here. This is 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And let me see if I could get a better rendition here of this. Let me go back to the 18Z. See how far this goes out. I'm not sure how far. It's still Wednesday today, so. Yeah, it only goes to, okay, so let me go back. I appreciate your patience, folks. I haven't looked at these models. I'm looking at these the first time here today, so. For the Saturday system. Deborah says, how is South Carolina? We're talking about that here in just 1 second. We're going to talk about Saturday. So here we go on Saturday. This is around 3 in the morning. So right now the GFS model, this is what we can only go off of, is the global forecasting models right now, because the short range models don't really reach too far to Saturday unless you're looking at the NAM 12KM, and that kind of looks a little weird to me. So I'm going to look here at the GFS, and you can see maybe a blob of some heavier rain here. This could cover a lot of portions of South Carolina, the Atlanta area into North Georgia there, and into eastern portions of Alabama. The southern edge of this, like from the Atlanta area down toward Montgomery, I'd be watching out for severe weather on your Saturday morning. Could be ongoing. And there are some models that actually have the severe weather further south. So even though it doesn't show it here for, say, the Mobile region or Dothan or even the Jacksonville region, Savannah, Georgia down here, I would still be on the lookout for severe weather. There could still be some thunderstorm activity in this corridor as we go into Saturday morning, so I'd keep an eye on that. This is around 3 o'clock there in the morning. And then as we go through the day, you can see the GFS model likes the line of storms to push through portions of the coastal Carolinas. So Myrtle Beach, down to Charleston, down to Savannah, Georgia there, up toward the Wilmington region and the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Starting to see more thunderstorm activity. This is noon time frame on Saturday, and then we start to see that quickly move offshore into the evening hours here. But we could still see the back edge of this line clipping portions of the Jacksonville Beach region, and maybe over there toward Orlando. So we'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, this will be moving off with the cold front, and a big cool down will ensue behind that and drier weather for the weekend. But we're going to have a March cool down. So we're going to have cooler air moving in behind this storm. There's the cold front right here, and some cooler air in this area here as we go into the weekend. So a lot of those temperatures will be below freezing. Yeah, happy birthday, me, mister. Thank you for joining. Happy birthday to you. Hope you're having a great day out there. Looking forward to some rain here in southern Arizona. Yeah, absolutely. Pretty dry down there, and you always look for rain in El Nino patterns in Arizona, so hopefully you're able to get that rain there, Courtney, across that region. Charles, are we going to get any more snow? I wouldn't bank on it this winter. There hasn't been that much snow there into that region in Massachusetts this winter, and I don't suspect there will be much more as we're already in towards almost the middle of March. So probably maybe a little bit more, but I wouldn't bank on any big snowstorms. I don't think that's going to happen. Johnson City on Saturday. Okay, so we'll look here at Johnson City. We got a question about that here in Eastern Tennessee. There's Johnson City there. So let's go back here on Saturday and look at that. So I'm just kind of answering questions right now. So if you have any questions, make sure to put them down in the live stream chat. I will be going over as many questions, comments, concerns as possible here. So bear with me. Lots of comments and questions coming in. So looking here, Johnson City on Saturday, 6 o'clock in the morning. Right now, there could be some thunderstorms, but I still think the severe weather threat will be further south. So like this big blob of rain and thunderstorm activity where you see these big bright yellows and oranges and stuff across southern North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia there toward Atlanta. That'll likely be the heavy rain and severe weather, but there's Johnson City here, and I'll zoom it in again to show you. There could be some thunderstorm activity there on Saturday, maybe some smaller hail, some gusty winds, certainly some heavy rainfall with some of these storms there, but I don't think that is the severe weather risk will be shifting that far north. But we'll keep an eye on it. Saturday is a few days away. We'll keep you updated on that as we get closer. Yeah, absolutely, Courtney, no problem. So let's see here. How's the Ohio Valley region looking, Jeff says. I just saw your comment come in. Let's see. Let's go back here and start on Thursday and kind of walk you through the Ohio Valley region. So looking here, going into your Friday morning, so pretty dry through Thursday. So the Ohio Valley will be dry on Thursday. Thursday night, more so into Friday morning, we're going to start to see a big area of rain develop across the land of Lincoln here in Illinois, and then back toward Iowa, Missouri, southern portions there of Indiana, western Kentucky. That's a big area of rain moving into the western Ohio Valley for Friday morning. That will push across the Ohio Valley, seeing some decent rains across Ohio into Kentucky as we go in towards your Friday afternoon time frame. More storms developing further to the west here towards St. Louis. Those storms will be growing in intensity, and then a big blob of rain moving through Indiana overnight Friday into Saturday there. Some storms and showers across southern and central Ohio there Saturday morning. And then the cold front comes through Saturday. So Saturday afternoon should trend drier. So we could start wet during Saturday morning and then trend drier as we go through the day. And then Sunday will be dry, just a cooler air mass behind that. There's the big cold front. You can clearly see the cold front here. I'll draw it in blue. And there we go, right there. So you got the low pressure somewhere up there, and then you got the cold front extending down from that. And everywhere behind this cold front is going to be a lot cooler as we go in toward the weekend. So a nice refreshing air mass on the way there. Tornado storm. What about Austin, Texas? Okay, great question. So Austin, Texas, right here in south central Texas, you are actually in a severe weather risk as we go into Thursday. So for Austin, Texas, you are right on the edge there of the marginal risk. You're in that marginal risk, that level 1 out of 5 for severe weather as we go in towards Thursday. This is for tomorrow. Let's go to the HRRR. Let's see if the 0Z is loaded in here. Hopefully it is. Not quite as much as I thought it was gonna. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, we'll have to use the 18Z again. So there's Austin, Texas. You're in the level 1 out of 5, that marginal risk of severe weather. So the lowest risk you can have for severe weather there in Austin, Texas. And that includes near the San Antonio region and Tyler, Texas. This is for Thursday. This is for tomorrow. So we're going to keep an eye on this. So timing out the storms going through this evening. We are watching the potential for a couple storms northwest of Austin as we go through the rest of this evening. Those will fizzle out. We'll see more development up there towards portions of Abilene and the Dallas-Fort Worth area as we go into early Thursday. Still dry down here into Austin, though. And then as we go into 6 a.m., this is the rush hour, still dry in Austin. We're watching some of the storms upstream there. And then as we go through the day, we're going to start to see those storms trying to build further south towards southern Texas here, and we could start to see a couple storms developing and sparking not too far to the northwest of Austin. This is around 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and then we start to see that moving away. So there's a really brief opportunity for some storms there tomorrow. It's just whether or not we have any storm development here, and those little storms we'll keep an eye on. If they get going, they could be hail producers. And then again, going through the evening hours, we have a break. And then I think the better chance for severe weather in Austin will actually be Thursday after midnight into Friday morning. So there's your best bet. The cold front will be moving through, and these storms could pack a little bit of a punch moving through Austin if they do develop there on Friday morning. This is 7 a.m. So your Friday morning commute is likely to be more impacted in Austin than your Thursday morning commute. So long story short here, looking back on Thursday, so let's actually get back to looking at that real quick here for you. So this is on your Thursday morning. So this is 8 o'clock in the morning. We're dry in Austin. We're going to noon time frame. It's still dry in Austin. We're watching storms to the north and west. We're going to the evening hours, 6 p.m., still watching storms. We could have a storm there in Austin. And then as we go in towards the overnight hours, we're drying out. If we have any storms, we'll be drying out. Otherwise, Austin looks like we may miss out on storms. There's not a guarantee of storms tomorrow. And then as we go into Friday morning after midnight, this is your best chance for thunderstorms with the cold front. Will be 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday. These storms could be producing damaging winds, hail, and even an isolated tornado. We'll be watching that going through your Friday morning commute. It's going to be a brief window there in Austin. We're talking 6 a.m. to around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then those storms will be moving off to the east toward Tyler, Shreveport, and the Houston region. So we'll keep an eye on that. So hopefully that was a good rundown for the timing of the storms for you. David Holmes says Natchez, Mississippi, going to be, I don't think it's going to be really bad there in Natchez. I think there's a severe weather risk. This is certainly not the biggest risk ever. Right now for Natchez, Mississippi here, into southwestern Mississippi. Let me zoom into that Natchez, Mississippi region if I can find it here. There's Natchez right here. So south and west of Jackson, you are not even in a severe thunderstorm risk or even a general thunderstorm risk tomorrow. So Thursday, you'll be dry into the Natchez region. And then we have a slight risk for severe weather, which is a level 2 out of 5 on the scale for Natchez as we go into your Friday time frame on the 8th of March. And looking at those risk categories, so let's look at the risk for what you could see on Friday there in Natchez. And it looks like we are going to see potential, we can't see that, so it's just a probabilistic here. So you're seeing here a 15% chance probability of severe weather in Natchez. This could include all modes of severe weather, damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes. So we'll watch that. And we'll see if this area expands or gets upgraded to an enhanced risk as we do get closer to that time frame. All right, I'll get into everybody's questions on here as much as I can. Let's see here. Thank you so much, Aspen, for your $10 donation. What about Colorado, Littleton? So let me actually go over to that region, and then I'll answer more of your questions. So let's look at the Littleton, Colorado region here. I'm trying to find where that may be. Let's see. Littleton, Colorado. Let's see if we can find it over here. I believe it's around the Denver region, if I'm not mistaken. I might have to look it up real quick. So let me just give me one moment here, folks. I'm not familiar with some of these town names in the other areas. I'm from the Midwest, so. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so it's like a suburb of Denver. So, okay. So here's the Littleton area. We won't zoom completely in. You guys get an idea if you guys live in the Littleton area there. So I-25, I-70, just south of Denver. So as we go over the next couple days, or really over the rest of this evening here, we'll go over the next couple of days though. You can see pretty dry there in the Littleton region. Could see a shower or a storm over the Denver area and Littleton as we go into overnight tonight. Not that big of a deal. And actually, let me change this to precipitation type. It'd probably be better here. So, all right. Okay. So looking at this here as we go into Littleton, as we go into your Thursday morning. So dry pretty much tonight. We're watching that. Could see a shower storm, and then we have the cold air coming in. So there's the snowfall. But it looks like it's going to be mainly rain there for the Littleton region as you're in the lower elevation. You go higher elevation right outside Littleton and Denver. Very heavy snow through your Friday or your Thursday afternoon time frame. Going into Friday, that changes over to all snow though. For Denver and Littleton, very heavy snow during the evening and overnight hours on your Thursday. So very heavy snow for that region there. And then moving across through your Friday time frame, snow will just kind of linger around. And we could be seeing some decent totals here with some of our snow in that region. So let's look here at our snowfall accumulation for the Littleton region here. So here's our snowfall accumulation. This is just going through your Friday time frame at noon. So by noon on Friday, the Littleton area, you could be expecting about 2 to 4 inches worth of snow. So about 2 to 4 inches worth of snow in the Littleton area there for Aspen as we go through Friday at midday. So thank you. Kansas City, Missouri area. Absolutely. So let's talk about Kansas City, Missouri. Go back here and look at... I don't really think we're going to see much, though, to be honest with you, for Kansas City, Missouri. You guys are kind of like in the no man's land for weather over the next few days, and that's not a bad thing. We're seeing some active weather kind of further to your west, your north, your south. You're kind of, I would say, in between storm systems, but we could see some pretty heavy rainfall though. So here we go. You can see the Kansas City area region here seeing some heavier rain by about noon time on Thursday. This will just be normal rain. We're not talking any severe weather or anything like that for Kansas City. Just some nice soaking rain there. I know we got a lot of drought ongoing across parts of this region, so it's good to see the rainfall. And then as we go further through your Thursday, this is 3 o'clock, still seeing the rainfall in Kansas City. 7 o'clock tomorrow, still seeing the rain. So looking at a pretty soggy Thursday for the Kansas City region, and then more storms developing, heavy rainfall rumbling through even overnight there. It looks like a solid day and a half of rain there from Thursday into Thursday night and into Friday morning there, at least the first part of Friday morning for the Kansas City region before that moves out and maybe more precipitation to your south during the day on Friday. So a very soggy go of it there for Kansas City. Looking at our precipitation totals there for Kansas City, yeah, you're in the bullseye right now. According to the HRRR, you could be seeing in the Olathe region around 4 inches of rain. Kansas City proper around 3.5 inches or so of rain. So some pretty decent rains there. The Green Valley region around 2 inches. And definitely seeing some pretty heavy rain there. Back toward Topeka, we're seeing around 1.5 inches of rain. So very heavy rainfall there, Justin, for your area. Again, you're just joining. We're answering questions about the weather here, talking about severe weather as well, and anything else you guys have to offer for any questions about the weather. I can answer them here on tonight's live stream. Appreciate you joining. If you are joining, make sure to hit the like button down below. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be putting another video out tomorrow detailing the spring and summer outlook, the severe weather forecast for this year, and also updating the kind of previewing the hurricane season as well. Thank you, Aspen, for another 10. After you answer some questions, is there any tornado for Littleton? No, I can answer that very concretely. There's no tornado risk there for the Littleton region. So I'm not expecting any tornadoes for Littleton. But good question, though. No, we're talking about rain changing over to snow over there for the Denver and Littleton region. So just snowfall mainly is your precipitation through the week. But thank you again for another $10. I appreciate it. Balance is key. Nice YouTube name. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Arkansas is probably good. Right now, yes, Arkansas is good. I would focus more on central and southern Arkansas for severe risk as we go into Friday. The biggest risk of severe weather so far this season will be for the areas south of Little Rock. So we're talking the Pine Bluff area, down towards Hot Springs and El Dorado, Camden, Hope, those areas. We're going to be watching Fort Smith as well. We have a level 2 out of 5 here. And let me kind of get rid of this to show you the risk area here for Arkansas. So there you go. There's Arkansas. On Friday, we have a 15% probability of severe weather within a 25-mile radius of a given point. So Little Rock, you're pretty close. I would say Little Rock may be included pretty much in that 15% area, even though you're technically in the 5%, but it's within a 25-mile radius here. And if you kind of draw this out, here, let me get rid of this again. If you kind of draw this out, I'm pretty sure that Little Rock is not that far away here. Let's see. I clicked on the wrong thing. Yeah, so your Little Rock is right at about 23 miles away from that 15% probability. So I would say you're basically, if you're in the Little Rock region, you're basically included in that 15% probability of severe weather there on Friday. And very well, this risk could expand. So we could see this expanding closer toward Memphis and Jonesboro over the next couple of days. Tupelo, the same thing. Oh, whoops, I didn't want to do that. Same thing over here towards, say, the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa region and Montgomery. Could see that 15% expanding. I would say the same thing there into the Montgomery region. Let's see here. The Montgomery, you're a little bit further away, so you're about 41 miles away from the 15%. So technically, you're in the 5% there. But I would say for like Greenville there, so Greenville, Mississippi, you're technically right on the line of the 5 and 15. I would just consider you the 15% probability there into Greenville, Mississippi for severe weather on Friday. Yeah, you're welcome, Aspen. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Tornado outlook, regional, southern Kansas. Southern Kansas, we're not really looking at any tornadoes really over the next couple of days. The biggest tornado risk we do have for that Kansas region or near the Kansas area would be tomorrow. And that would actually just include western Oklahoma down in towards northwest Texas. So Kansas, you are not in the tornado outlook all the way through the weekend. You are A-okay. We're not seeing any tornadoes for Kansas. So that's certainly some good news. Could there be an enhanced risk on Friday? Yeah, there could be. Right now, I'm here. So let's go over let's look at the HRRR here. Let's see if the 0Z is loaded in enough. Let's see here. Let's go over here. Look at portions of Mississippi, Louisiana, and East Texas here for Friday. Let's see how much this is loaded in, because I want to kind of do an analysis on this real quick to see what we're seeing here. So let's go look at the composite reflectivity. How far does this go out now? Let's see. All right, this only goes to Thursday. All right, so let's go back to the 18Z like we were doing earlier. And all right, so let's look at the storm mode here. And here's the reason why I think the slight risk is appropriate for right now is because, well, it's a couple days away. Friday is from today because today's Wednesday. But also, look at the storm mode as we go into Friday. See how a bunch of these storms just kind of develop Friday morning like this? Now, that tells me that there's going to be a lot of heavy rain, and this could kind of impede on the instability developing through the day. But we'll keep an eye on it here. I think the best chance, in my opinion, for the greatest severe weather chance on Friday will be further south toward the Gulf Coast. So we're talking like Jackson to Shreveport and in this area here, like New Orleans and Mobile. That would be the area of highest chance, I think, for severe weather on Friday, in my opinion, because there's more of an opportunity for instability to develop down there because there's not a lot of thunderstorm activity through the morning. There is more time for energy to develop. Look further north, like Arkansas, northern and central Mississippi, northern Louisiana, East Texas, a lot of those areas will likely be seeing ongoing storms, which will actually hinder some of the instability growth through the morning hours. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's not to say that some of these storms can't be severe. There definitely will be storms within this area that are hail producers, damaging wind producers, maybe tornado producers. But I think let's go over to the outlook here real quick on Friday and show you what we're thinking here for what the Storm Prediction Center is thinking right now for Friday. And you can see right now the slight risk is in that area. And I think really technically if there is an enhanced risk upgrade with what I just showed you and what I just saw, it would be kind of right in the middle of that area, kind of in an area like this. So from southern Mississippi, like Laurel, Hattiesburg, maybe just south of Jackson, up there towards the Baton Rouge, Alexandria region, and then towards Shreveport, that would be the corridor I would be watching out for maybe an enhanced risk upgrade if there were to be one. Another note too is that there's a potential here for the slight risk area right here to move further north and east as well. So just because you're in a marginal now for Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and Montgomery doesn't mean that that can't move further northeast. It's definitely still possible. You're about 50 miles south of Tupelo. All right. You're kind of on the line of you're in the marginal risk of severe weather, but you're very close to the slight risk. So this could expand into your area there, potentially, Arnie, for some severe weather as we go into Friday. Joe says, how much rain do you see for southern Kansas tonight and tomorrow? Yeah, let's look at that real quick for southern Kansas. We got a question about how much rain can be expected here. You're saying for... Okay, so for tonight into tomorrow. So let's look here at that real quick. All right, so I'll take you all the way through noon on... I'll take you through noon on Friday for the rainfall there into southern Kansas. And right now, it looks like pretty much southern Kansas seeing a lighter rainfall event right now, anywhere from a trace to a quarter of an inch, depending on where you are. So like in Wichita, we're talking around maybe a quarter inch at most. In towards portions there of Dodge City, we're talking around maybe 2/100ths of an inch of rain. Hutchinson around 1/100th of an inch of rain. Great Bend around a quarter inch. I think it's as you get into eastern Kansas, we're talking like Emporia, the Emporia region around 1.5 to 2 inches. Topeka around 2 inches. Kansas City, Missouri, in those areas, getting out of Kansas there around 3.5 inches. So I think eastern Kansas is your best bet for the heaviest rain. And southern Kansas, anywhere from a trace to up to a quarter inch there through Friday at midday. Mansfield, Missouri. I'm not sure where that is. Let me look it up real quick. So Mansfield, Missouri. We're going to look at that here next. Okay, so you're basically in far southern Missouri here. So going through noon there, noon on Friday, there's your rainfall amounts for the Mansfield region. I think around 1 inch of rain is a good bet for you in the Mansfield region. 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch of rain is a very solid bet there. Around Springfield and Joplin and Mansfield, a lot of those areas there into southern Missouri, Branson included, you guys will be likely seeing 3/4 of an inch to around 1 inch of rain through your Friday midday time frame. Let's see here. You guys have any more questions about anything weather related here as we still have the live stream up for the next few minutes? I do appreciate all your questions. Again, if you do have any questions, make sure to, even after the live stream ends, to drop your question down below in the comment section. I always answer questions even after the live stream has ended. I always answer questions with my videos in the morning and afternoons whenever I put them out as well. You guys can answer the questions then. I'll be putting another video out for you folks tomorrow, so make sure you're looking out for that in the morning around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning time frame. We're going to be updating you on the spring and summer forecast, so we'll be doing that tomorrow. Okemah, Oklahoma. That's a good town name. We're going to be looking at that next, Okemah, Oklahoma. So let's see here where that is. I have to look it up. I'm not familiar with some of these town names. So you're east of Oklahoma City. So yeah, it looks like some pretty heavy rainfall for your area there. Down I-40, we could be talking around 3/4 of an inch, upwards to an inch of rain for you through midday on Friday. For severe weather purposes, for eastern portions of Oklahoma there for you, we'll get you to the outlook real quick here, because I do believe you are in at least a risk for severe weather there on Thursday. So you're in a marginal risk for severe weather there in the Okemah region on Thursday down I-40. And the risk for tornadoes, notice that will be further off to your west. So that will be across western Oklahoma, west of Norman and Oklahoma City. So you're not seeing really any tornado potential right now with the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center in the Okemah region. So that's some good news. Looking at the wind probability for you tomorrow, you can see the wind probability for the Okemah region is pretty low. 5% chance of a given point within 25 miles of your location. Could be seeing winds of 58 miles per hour or stronger. And then looking at the hail risk, we could be seeing a 5% chance of quarter-size hail. That's that 1-inch diameter hail for you out there. We'll be watching that for the Okemah region on Thursday. Now going into Friday, there is a risk as well for severe weather ongoing. I think you have a higher chance of severe weather Friday in the Okemah region. You're very, very close to that slight risk. We could be seeing more of a risk for severe weather there in Okemah there as we go in towards that Friday time frame, mainly Friday morning. So late Thursday night into Friday morning, we'll be looking for that here. And let me go to the HRRR model and show you the composite reflectivity, so you are aware when the timing of these storms will be. So let's look at the timing for the Okemah region here real quick while we have that question up. Trying to answer as many questions as possible here. So going through the rest of this evening, pretty dry. Going into your Thursday morning commute, 7 a.m., we got thunderstorms. Some of these could be small hail, gusty wind, and heavy rainfall producers. Cloud to ground lightning is always a risk with thunderstorms. And then as we go through the morning, just kind of a training area of rain up there into Okemah and eastern Oklahoma through midday on Thursday. More of that moves east as we go into Thursday evening. We'll be drying out, and then more storms we'll be watching developing in northern Oklahoma there, northwest of Oklahoma City. Those will be diving through with a broken line of storms. These could be some gusty wind producers into your early Friday morning time frame. Maybe some hail producers as well, and then we'll see more heavy rain going through the day on and off on Friday. So a lot of storms moving through there in eastern Oklahoma. Absolutely, no problem. What is the amount of inches in Texas of rain? We're seeing, let's look at the rainfall for Texas here. The highest rainfall amounts, I do believe, in Texas will be in eastern Texas as the storms really pick up. So like the Dallas-Fort Worth area, let me take off the severe weather risk again here. So like the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we're basically, we're talking about anywhere from an inch to 2 inches there. So like from Dallas, we're around an inch, inch and a half. The Fort Worth area, we could be up to 3 inches. So 1 to 3 inches of rain there in North Texas for a lot of you, from McKinney to Denton to Dallas-Fort Worth, Wichita Falls area. Tyler, Texas, we're seeing around an inch or so of rain at times going through Friday morning. And then down toward Houston, we're seeing around an inch of rain, inch and a half of rain there, especially east of Houston as well. So a lot of the rain in Texas will be in northern and eastern Texas. Western and southern Texas won't get as much rain with this storm through the week. So hopefully that answers your question there. Hey, Severe Storm Filmer, thanks for joining. Hey, Weather on the Go, just wondering, is more severe on the way for Ohio? Not this week. We're not seeing any severe weather for Ohio this week. And quite honestly, through the month of March, we're probably not going to be seeing much severe weather that far north. It'll be fairly far and few and far between, because a lot of these storms are moving further south. So a lot of the instability and the dynamics will be further south in March, and we also have cooler air moving in toward the middle of the month, which will also hinder the severe weather chances for Ohio. So right now, I think March is not really the month for severe weather in Ohio. I do think later this spring, so especially May into summer, June timeframe, that's when I think the severe weather threat will be picking up for Ohio. We'll have to wait a few more months for that, but for any significant events for that region. We'll keep an eye on that. I think May into June will be big months for Ohio, and much of the Midwest areas there. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Pottsboro, Texas, Night Fox says. I'm not sure where that is either. Let me look that up. I appreciate your patience with me, folks, here as I'm kind of looking up some of these smaller towns and kind of giving you your general forecast over the next couple days. So let's see here. Okay, so you're way up there toward the Red River. So you're just basically north of Dallas. So you're up here toward I-35 area. So let's look here at the timing of the storms for you in Pottsboro. And you can see after it loads here, and then you can see here going through the rest of this evening, pretty quiet, maybe an isolated stray shower or storm into the Pottsboro area after midnight. I think we start to see more rain and thunderstorm activity moving in as we go into your Thursday morning, looking off to the west toward Wichita Falls there. We'll be watching that. Those storms will be finally rumbling through Pottsboro, I think, early afternoon tomorrow. That's when we could be seeing some gusty winds, some hail, and potentially a isolated tornado. This looks to be more linear, so more of a heavy rain, hail, and gusty wind threat through the Pottsboro region. This is around midday tomorrow into your early afternoon, and then very heavy rain kind of on and off through the afternoon and evening there, and then we'll dry out, and then we'll see another round of some heavy rain and thunderstorms with more hail, gusty winds, and a tornado threat Friday morning as well. So we're going to be seeing a couple rounds of some heavier thunderstorms moving through. And with both of those rounds moving through portions of the Pottsboro region, we could still be seeing potentially as much of rainfall as 1 to 3 inches could be a good bet for you. So I think 1 to 3 inches is a good bet of rain for the Pottsboro region over the next couple days going through Friday. Again, just joining or you have been here, make sure to press the like button down below. It's the thumbs up button. For those of you that don't know, it helps to get more people in here talking about weather, engaged with weather, and I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Matt. I don't know. A lot of these towns, there was a specific name that somebody put. Night Fox said Pottsboro, Texas. Okay, so Pottsboro, Texas is generally in North Texas, right near the Red River there. I can say Denton. Denton is in that vicinity. You're right. McKinney's in that vicinity as well. Paris, Texas. A lot of those areas are up there. Gainesville. But you guys get the picture. Up toward the Red River, 1 to 3 inches of rain is a good bet there. But I see what you're saying. So I'll try better the next time to do that for you, so you guys have kind of bigger town references to know. But yeah, and that was just a general question for Pottsboro, so I was kind of looking it up and kind of giving you an idea of what you can expect there. So thank you guys so much for being here. Again, we will be putting videos out tomorrow, so we'll be putting videos out tomorrow. We do daily videos pretty much on this channel, so for the most part, so be watching out for that. A lot of new information coming out over the next few days. All right, well, it looks like we're not many questions coming in, so I think we're going to wrap up the live stream. Thank you so much, folks, for joining here on this Wednesday evening. A lot of people are probably getting ready for bed, work, school, whatever it may be, running errands tomorrow. So I'm going to be heading out here in just a moment. If you have any last questions, I'll try to answer them as best as I can here on the live stream. Otherwise, after the live stream is ended, you can still ask your questions and I'll answer them here as soon as I possibly can, or during my videos. When I do my videos each day, you guys can put your questions down in the comment section. Any comments, concerns, I will be putting work to that and looking through your questions, comments, concerns after my video tomorrow. So you guys can check that out and I'll be answering any questions you have there as well. Do you think Tornado Alley will wake up this spring? I do. I think central and southern plains from Kansas to Oklahoma and Texas will definitely be very active early on. I think then that will shift further north into Nebraska. into South Dakota and Iowa and Missouri as we go deeper into April and May. So basically, I'm going to right now kind of outline an area of interest. So like we're talking March, April timeframe. I'm thinking kind of in this general vicinity. So if you're talking about March, April, this is kind of the general vicinity we're looking at. And then I think as we go deeper into April, it's going to be more of kind of this area up here for April and this area. And then I think once we get deeper into, say, like May, I think May is going to be a big month here. There's some mixed signals in some of the models, but I think May could be a pretty big month for somewhere in here. I think the Midwest could be in play. I think May is going to be a big month for the mid and upper Mississippi Valley. So we'll keep an eye on that. Is northwestern Georgia, the line between Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama, going to have any threat of severe weather? So you're talking northwest Georgia between Tennessee and Alabama. Yes, I think there's a severe weather risk. I think on Friday. Let me see here. Let me go back to the categories. You're very right. Okay, so no, you don't. You don't have any risk for severe weather currently for Friday, like the Huntsville region, northwest of Atlanta toward Chattanooga. You don't have any severe weather risk there in that vicinity. So northwestern Georgia, no. You're just general thunderstorm risk there into this region for your Friday time frame. The marginal risk could expand further to the north and east, and if it does, we'll keep you covered here on this channel for it. All right, folks, looks like a lot of people are exiting the live stream, so I got to get out of here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Consider subscribing to the channel on your way out so you guys can see me again and have more accurate weather forecast for you in the future throughout 2024, and I'll post a video tomorrow about what you can expect as we go through the spring summer with temperatures, precipitation trends, severe weather, and we'll preview the hurricane forecast for 2024 as well. We'll get into a lot of that data in tomorrow's weather forecast. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening and night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you guys. Have a good night.